So,
I'm so sick of Yusuge.
I know. This is our first topic. We'll get out of the way, Tom. All right. But this is comical as hell. You wanted representation. It's an intersection on representation. All right. And it intersects with all this other stuff. So, yeah, let's have a look, shall we? Basically, Ubisoft appears to confirm now that both protagonists, it's not just Yusuke, but both protagonists are of the LGBTQ plus persuasion. And it's just essentially with a small blog post. So in the blog post, company's website published on May 15th, the company declared Neo, I keep butchering this name, and Yasuke's disparate personalities also lead them to have different relationships and rapport with other characters, and they don't always feel the same way about people, nor do people always feel the same way about them. As if I care about romantically in an Assassin's Creed game, but apparently that is the case. Romantically, they will also attract and be attracted to different types of people. Through the pair, players will get to experience a multitude of relationships. Now that, I mean, you read between the lines.
Told you she was a little pixie.
I thought they were trying to be historic with this Yusaki. I never saw any references of him being alphabet community related.
The thing is, all right,
but he also wasn't a samurai.
Exactly.
So well, once you go black, I've been told you never go back. So
yeah, and if you go back to white, you go running back to black.
They can absolutely make it whatever they want. And the thing is, read between the lines, yeah, it seems a little bit perverse in terms of what they're doing. And ultimately, it's because it comes from this individual on the left here. This person, Sashi Schmidt-Hori, professor of Japanese literature and culture, has a really weird obsession with transgenerational sex between in ancient Japan. So she's talking about pedos and stuff like this, obviously. Talking about medieval Japan and transgenerational relations. She's done a book on it. She's fixated with it.
So her and Zack Snyder should get along, in other words.
Yeah, pretty much. And not just that, there's other things in this book. It's pretty odd. It's pretty odd. Historization, I'm butchering my words today, of social constructs such as gender, sexuality, age, and agency, and a mode of reading propelled by curiosity and introspection. Male love in medieval Japanese narratives. This is what she wrote. There you go. So this is one of the narrative consultants.
I swear they're just doing this crap at this point just so we talk about it. Because nobody else has any interest in this shit.
That may actually be in part to do.
And that's kind of why I'm getting irritated by it, because it's almost like they're shoving it down my throat. Like I know more about Yusuge than Yusuge knows about Yusuge.
Well, the thing is, you got to remember a large portion of their funding comes from including elements like this in their, in media nowadays, right? We know it with film, we know it with TV. These things get funded as a result of including this stuff. So I think there's an argument to be had that some of these people do some of this stuff, hate bait marketing, as it were. But some of this is quite literally because they need it to be funded. But there you go, basically. So Yusuke and Neo could be of the LGBTQ plus persuasion, which sounds probably like that is the case, even if they don't show it in, the game itself. The implication is here. Is what they're trying to say. Whether it's just
honestly, at this point, I'd be disappointed if they weren't.
Well, over to you guys. Bo, I'll get to you first, actually. Medieval transgenerational love.
Yeah, go down again to the name of her book. It's like, what is it, Male on Male?
Where is it? Well, there's a few. The book itself.
It was sort of there it is. Tales of idolized boys. male love in medieval Japan and sort of intergenerational stuff. So this woman is a freak.
Yeah,
and I would put money on there's some skeletons in her closet. I'm not alleging she's an actual sex criminal.
Here you go, look.
But I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. I know Tom occasionally drops an F-bomb. What a fucking weirdo. I mean, really, what a freak.
I think you can borrow my term queerdo in this case.
Queerdo, yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn queerdo. Get away from me, freak. Get away from me. Ugh. A disgusting human being.
And they're trying to normalize all this stuff now.
Right. And so that's the thing. I think there is an element of it that is very deliberately a type of humiliation ritual. It's like, oh, Western white boys like the Assassin, or used to like the Assassin's Creed franchise set of games. Let's very, very deliberately, with a laser-like focus, subvert it and pervert it inside out. There's no way to avoid that. It's not deliberate. You say, and you're not wrong, Nate. Say, well, there's all sorts of things in place that gives them money or funding if they do this. Okay, well, let's look at that. Who put that in place, and what were their motivations, and who are their shareholders, and on and on and on and on. It's very, very deliberate. It's not sort of by accident. Oops, we accidentally got this complete freakazoid to have intellectual control over our game. It's like, oops, or I accidentally did that. No. Oh God, no. So it's like, so it's very specific, isn't it? Transgenerational. So you already said the word pedo, so I'll use it. So a pedo, male on male. So she's obsessed with blokes, an older man and a younger boy having sex. Like, what are you doing? Who are you? What are you? Like they've literally dredged up someone who I would put money on is well, I can't say, otherwise you won't be able to put it on YouTube, but will have done some terrible things, and if not haven't already done them, is going to do them, is on the trajectory to doing some very, very terrible crimes. That's not a normal person. And so I'm not going to be playing their game. And one last thing before I let someone else go. The idea that this big, massive black samurai is also, I'll throw on top as a cherry on top as some hundreds of thousands on top of that, is also LGBTQ. The thing that I find funny is that quite often a lot of black people, a lot of black culture in the West, they're not interested in LGBTQ stuff.
Nope.
There's quite a lot of examples where you can find, like at the BLM riots, mostly peaceful riots a couple of summers ago, there'll be people chanting about BLM and Black Lives Matter and all that, and someone else will come on, usually a middle-class white woman, will usually rock up with like a rainbow flag and go, oh yeah, and also LGBTQ rights or something. And there's lots of examples where the black people turn around, they're like, no, what are you talking about? Get away from me. Who are you? No, what? No, we're not the same. You don't just lump yourself into us. This isn't Greenpeace, right? This isn't a Liberal Democrats rally. Get away from us. We don't want any of your gay stuff. So, I mean, honestly, I'm not making it up. There's lots of examples of this. So, it's just they don't care. Those two women you just showed, who are like, the writers or like the some sort of power over the game. They don't care. They don't care about that. They don't care about the Japanese sensibility or black people's sensibility or culture. No, they're just crowbarring in their insane freak stuff. And I want nothing to do with it. I'll have nothing to do with it.
I could have said it better myself. Culture. That's a tough act to follow. There you go, mate.
Well, I mean, Bo's been spilling a lot of quality tea. I'll say, the last couple of takes, especially politically, that are interesting. Look, this is all about normalization, and they're trying to say that this was normal all the way back when, right? In a time when most likely it would have gotten you killed. And especially if you are in a xenophobic country such as Japan, and look, to make the assumption that people who are invested in these things and they spend time in it and they talk about it and they write about it and everything else, that they aren't a little bit compromised and thinking about it, I think that's not a stretch. I think, Bo, you probably are right there. There's probably a whole boneyard in her closet, but regardless, there's no way around these elements being forced into every part of popular culture. Video games is just the latest victim over the course of the last decade. I mean, we're on round 2 of Gamergate, and now it's the fact that we're a little bit more outspoken. We're not being quelled in our conversation, especially in social media now. We can have open discussions about the things that they're actively forcing upon society and break it down and discuss the reasons why. And I think that comes to the conversations around these types of things. That's the way, we are right now. And that's the way I think most people should approach it. Like, this is the willful destruction of civilization, or, something more colorful that Nate might say. But, that's honestly how they break down the way that we live. And they're doing it because they hate us. They believe that this is, living under the boot heel of authoritarian is better, preferred to freedom. Freedom, and especially as we enjoy it here in the United States, is advanced citizenship. And that's why they're having to bring in a lot of and dumb down the culture about the advanced citizenship required to keep a republic of a democratized republic alive. Because otherwise, I mean, you have people who are informed about the way government is supposed to work, and they're able to recognize the blatant the blatant corruption of government and judges and other elements that comprise our institutions. Every institution is compromised right now here in the States, is most specifically the public press. I mean, you have the corporatized elements of everything is contributing to this, and they're all reinforcing these ideas of these radical things that are stated here in this article. They're the people pushing it. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Regardless,
I like it. I don't like it, but I like the points. Nick.
Freaking Ubisoft, one of the worst gaming companies of all time. They used to be good. They're not anymore. They're literally developing themselves right into bankruptcy with this woke garbage nonsense. Gamergate 2.0 is alive and well. And I don't know why these gaming companies haven't learned anything from the Hollywood studios that have been doing this kind of crap for the past decade and losing money left and right. I guess they're next in line. They just were like, man, we just make too much money over here on the video game side. We need to get with the studios of Hollywood, and we need to start losing some money so we can fit in. None of it makes any sense. I don't understand why they're doing this with this game. Fans of the game are not happy. They're not looking forward to playing this. They're not going to be buying it. The trailer's getting ratioed left and right. There's YouTube videos out there about it from tons of gamers all over the place saying they're not going to be supporting this game, buying it, playing it, nothing. Even a good friend of mine that lives not far from me, who's a huge Assassin's Creed fan, is like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done if this is what they're doing. And he's a huge fan of this game series. So yeah, he's out as well, and he's not even in the YouTube space. But people are checking out.
Go on, Tom. Let's hear your thoughts, mate.
I'm not a gamer, so don't take most of what I say as anything of value. But I thought games and shit had gone woke a long time ago. So like all of a sudden people just freaking out to me, just like, isn't that what Gamergate was all about? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'm kind of just
start of it, but.
And then again, at the same time, like, look, I get it. There's a lot of gamers out there, big game fans, but who's going to give a crap about this game in 2 years, even if it was halfway decent anyway. Like, this is what I was trying to say the other day. Most people don't go and revisit games that often. Yes, there's people who do vintage gaming, and yeah, you'll have your favorite here and there of a certain game, but I can't think of the last time I went back and played Grand Theft Auto 3. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
honestly, you'd be surprised now, especially because of how games have deteriorated. People are playing older games.
I know, but my point is at the end of the day, outside of those in the upper pantheon, like, who the fuck plays Soul Calibur anymore?
Oh, well, I don't know, but
that's my point. Is like, at the end of the day,
very carefully, because there's probably gamers that do. You'd be surprised.
Where is this where people think that games are bigger than movies too? I keep hearing that. I don't see that. I don't see it in the money either. Because games cost 3 or 4 times as much as a movie and take 3 or 4 times as long to make.
So technically, that's actually incorrect. So Hogwarts Legacy, as one title itself, made more money for Warner Brothers than most of their movies did that year.
Yeah, that's one game though.
In the mobile gaming market, the mobile gaming market, they make money hand over fist.
Oh yeah, like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
GTA Online, man, like, this stuff is unbelievably huge. It's one of the biggest industries there is. It's huge. It is massive.
But that Absolutely is a good point about. Sorry.
I was just going to say, and that's why this was only a matter of time that it was going to start to be subverted.
Yeah, but they seem like they could lose a lot more money too at the same time.
Yeah, and it's happening.
And that's happening right now. Yeah, you're about to see Rockstar get clocked because of the bullshit in game Grand Theft Auto 6. That's why they're already in crunch because they're having to try to roll back some of the bullshit that's in the game.
And also Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, that lost $200 million for Warner Brothers straight away.
And rewind to the other game. The whole studio got killed. Volition got killed over the Saints Row reboot. They spent hundreds of millions on that.
Yeah, in 2023, the global video game industry brought in over $365 billion.
Yeah, it's double. It's double.
Just insane.
Yeah, it's double the combined music and film industry in revenue. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
it was right for subversion at that point.
Yeah, I mean, and what's funny is it's only accelerating because in 2020, now mind you, this was the year of the global crisis we were in, right? Everybody got locked down. That the gaming industry in 2020 was valued at 159.3 billion. And the numbers just keep going up and up and up. Obviously, Nick just told you it's $300 million. It's not going to go down. But we talked about this a few weeks ago, and I think this is a good point. And Nate actually reinforced it in my mind a moment ago, and that is people are playing games that are 6 years old or older now. That's the vast majority of the games that are being played on older consoles or on, consoles that'll play, retro games. But I get more enjoyment out of my old games. I have no desire to buy anything new unless it's good. I will never buy another video game ahead of time. I will not.
And I'm still not changing my mind on this because you're talking two completely different animals that are created two completely different ways, and their revenue comes in completely differently, right? Like, so to me, it's you're comparing apples to oranges in this case.
Well, you actually have more to lose with the game because
that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, you could hit big with a game, but if you, like you guys have just said, you can name me probably 3 companies that have gone out of business over one game.
Yeah,
that's my point. It's not as stable. It's sure you can hit big. Yes, there's game companies. Nintendo has got a bunch of game franchises that have gone on forever. Sony does too, and stuff like that. I'm not arguing that point, but
so the games industry is slightly different, Tom. So there's publishers and then there's studios. So a lot of the publishers own the studios that are making the games, so they publish the game on behalf of the studios.
And the movie studios own these companies, so that's my point. Anyway, Warner Brothers owns like half the game companies.
No, Warner Brothers only owns and runs one of their own. So there's no other movie studio which runs other gaming.
Well,
studios.
in modern games,
we can't dwell on this for too long, guys.
Okay.
Can I just chip in real quick?
Yeah.
I
was just gonna say my personal experience is both in gaming and movies is that the modern stuff is so often complete trash that I'm not even interested. I love San Andreas. I'll dig out my PS2 and replay San Andreas for the 6th time. I don't care. You can play it on
phone now.
I love Sid Meier's Civilization 4. If anyone in the chat has ever played or liked Civilization 4, let me know. It's brilliant.
I still play Pac-Man, but my point is of the hundreds of thousands of games that come out, like do that many stick around? That was my point. And I don't know what you mean by Warner Brothers only owning one company. I see Avalanche, NetherRealm, Rocksteady, Hotkey, Monolith, TT Games, Discovery Turbo. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I said they're the only one which publishes their own games. Warner Brothers Games. They're the only one which does that.
And for me,
and Disney owned a few too at one point,
but they don't anymore.
For sort of movies. I'll rather than like going to the cinema to see Beverly Hills Cop 4. No, I'll dig out Beverly Hills Cop 1 on VHS. I'll watch Predator 1 for the 50th time. Do you know what I mean?
I just got The Crow in 4K and watched it yesterday, and that's like the 100th time I've seen that movie.
Right.
That's my point. When I buy, I'll go buy a retro game, fine. But how many people go buy every single game in a collection at once? Even if I don't like Batman and Robin, I'm still getting that in that 4-pack collection. That's my point.
Well, but you're adding to our point is that the desecration of games is now happening, whereas people would have bought the games, now they're not. So you're actually adding to the point being made here is that, yes, this will be forgettable, but it shouldn't be. And it wasn't at one point. You know, this is a property and a franchise which was well loved for a reason. So you are technically adding to the point, actually. But anyway, let's shuffle on because we've got some super chats to do with all of this, actually. So we've got one here from Lester. His membership super chat says, I had a friend who was into the OG Assassin's Creed. I never got into the franchise. With the trends nowadays, I'm not going to get into it or any others. Kind of goes with what we've just been saying, basically. And this one as well from Depressed Canadian, great name, for $5 Canadian says, this is the problem with top-down political messaging in media. The audiences become alienated, leading to overall nihilism and industry collapse, which we are starting to see in real time, much quicker than we've seen in the movie industry, because these games lose significantly more money at a quicker rate. And so studios get binned instantly when they have one epic fail. They're just gone. Which is why it's been so funny watching this entire situation pan out. So we got some over on Streamlabs here. Deverl Royster 3 for $3 says, Mr. H is a racist bigot. If it is not white and gay, he is against color and women. Having one black friend doesn't count. Fuck you, H.
Wow.
Thanks for the, how much was that?
It was only $3.
Oh,
that's demonstrably
thanks for the $3.
I appreciate that, but yeah, I mean, it's demonstrably false. So I mean, I could spend time listing many things, but there's just absolutely no point. One of my favorite franchises, which is littered all around me, is Alien. Kind of female led. Me and Tom had a discussion last podcast about females, so demonstrably false, demonstrably so. But never mind. You are a retard. Chaos is Fun has super chatted another $3 and says, gay black man beats and deletes Asian people. Are we sure it's set in feudal Japan and not New York or LA?
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
D has super chat $20, says, entitled misandrist, feminist, extremist, propagandist. That was a lot. Say the gaijin was also on the down low and a female was the most ninja of all the ninjas ever. I'm honestly shocked.
Oh, hey, look, I mean, you know, all of these historical facts, right, Bo?
All right.
It's
funny though, it's an interesting point, and it's sort of fairly well documented. The idea of sort of the victimhood pyramid. And it does seem that black people are absolutely at the top of that pyramid. You know, like they do seem to trump if it's a game of top trumps. They do seem to trump anything else, really anything else. You know, there you go. It's a bizarre, perverse thing.
And I think the trans are taking that over.
No. Well, I mean, in this country, it's Muslims, but we'll not get into that.
I was gonna say, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
let's. I've still got some more. Hold on. I'm San Jose super chat $5 says I soured on movies. Sorry, a long time ago. Movies sucked for decades because reboots have been going on for much longer than gaming has gone woke. This is very true. Again, the gaming industry is hitting this wall very, very quickly with a much smaller demographic, investing much more time and money. So they're hitting against the brick wall at a quicker pace than the movie industry has. And then just to round this out real quick, we've got Accent Seller says, Tom, we need to call out woke wherever in culture it rears its ugly head. Getting bored by these news just because you don't play is missing the point. No, fair to Tom. He engaged quite a lot just now.
Well, not just that. I mean, there's other things we could be talking about, right? Like we've already covered this stuff. Like we spent 2 weeks talking about a game I'll never fucking play.
Not on here.
No, but I mean, just in general, I'm talking about in the community. Yeah. And now this is a little bit of an update. That's why I engaged. Yeah. Prior to this, we've been talking about the same shit for 2 weeks. And that's why I said earlier, I am now more of an expert on Yusuge than Yusuge is. Because I have heard everybody's disrotation on this individual. They know more than the history books know about him.
This is true. This is very true. And then we got another one. We got one from Doug VA Loves Horror. And then we will shuffle on, guys. I'll get to some of the other super chats in a minute because we do have to move on. So Doug VA Loves Horror for $5 says games make more money than movies and people game more than watch movies now compared to the 90s. Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, COD are the main money makers and will always have fans. Twitch and YouTube actually push people to stream games, more money and attention. And that's very true. This is all very, very true. Right. Let's shuffle on because that was a mega topic. It seems I didn't think it was going to take so long, to be fair. But yeah, there's a lot to go into with this stuff. So